All right, guys, welcome back to the show. Day 2 of our new schedule. Okay, now, today we're going to be, again, looking at a few stories. We're going to start with the Find the Insurrection game that we've been playing. Remember, we were told by the left that that Donald Trump instigated or incited an insurrection on January 6, 2021. And a few days ago, last week, actually, 1,627 body cam videos were released. Okay, it took a court to release those videos. How come they weren't released all this time? What were they trying to hide? If it was such an open and shut case that this was an insurrection, how come they held on to the videos till now? So those videos were released, and we're going through these videos looking for the insurrection we were told for 5 years. They're still telling us that there was an insurrection till today. Till today. If you listen to The View, if you listen to TDSBC, CNN, you hear people say, well, there was an insurrection. Well, we're going to be looking at one of the videos today, and you tell me if you see an insurrection. Then there was a shooting at Maine yesterday morning, and already we're having the usual suspects out on the streets reacting and frothing at the mouth about how ICE needs to be shut down and so on. We're going to be looking at that report. Marco Rubio ripped the International Criminal Court a new one yesterday. We didn't cover the video, but we're going to play it and then talk about it. And then we have several other stories following, but these are the big ones. So let's jump into the body cam video that we're going to be reviewing. You guys let me know if you see any insurrection. Meanwhile, feel free to put your thoughts in the chat below. Let's go. All right, so we're going to be hey Tony is in the chat. All right, good to see you, Tony. So usually you have the police standing around getting their briefing, and then the audio is muted. It's going to kick in soon, but we're going to be scrubbing forward to look for where they begin to actually they meet with the protesters. Oh, no, not protesters, the insurrectionists. All right, so here's the police. Now, if the media were to be believed, we should have the insurrectionists running at the police and attacking them and kicking them and breaking things on them. Let's see if that happens. What? It's weird. I don't see what's going on.
Oh my God.
Okay, so that was the insurrection, guys. They're calling the police traitors for keeping them from protesting, which is their First Amendment right. Tony says, if it was me, I'd be more ruthless. I'd go full Sicario on their asses. Look, it's really hard to figure out, like, now you and I have the benefit of hindsight, okay? We're looking at this. We lived through the last 5 years watching how this was used as a cudgel against Republicans and MAGA. And we can see the part that the Capitol Police played. At this time, no one knew what was going on. Not even the Capitol Police knew what they were doing. They were there on orders, and they were told, hey, there's a crowd that is attempting to break into the Capitol building. We just discovered this and that and the other. Now, remember that a few days before this, a pipe bomb had been discovered at both the DNC and the RNC. I think that was the situation. And everybody was on high alert, okay? And suddenly you have this crowd that's outside of the Capitol, and they've been told, okay, these people, the Congress people are afraid for their lives. You guys need to go disperse the crowd because they think that they're going to be murdered, okay? Now, I need you guys to walk through this, with me. They were told, and, by the mainstream media that MAGA is violent. They were told that President Trump is a divisive president. They were told all these things. And do you know what? People still listen to CNN and TDSBC. They believe these things. And they were told to come here and disperse a riot. So people were just essentially unhappy about them being there. Tony says a few things that I'm not going to repeat because YouTube isn't going to be happy that I repeated them. Let's keep going. So let's find the insurrection, okay? Okay, Tony asked a very valid question. Will they carry on with this paid activist madness? We're going to watch the reaction to the shooting at Maine. And of course, the paid activist nonsense is going to continue because it has worked for them so far. It's going to continue. So even if all of this exposes the fact that they are paid activists and that this was all a hoax, it's not going to stop them. So you guys prepare your minds, okay? The revelation of what happened on January 6th, that we're all going to be watching this, okay? It's not going to change anybody's mind. They're all going to continue to call Trump, all kinds of names. You're going to watch a woman who's coming up, who is protesting ICE after the shooting yesterday, saying the same talking points that have been debunked. So it's not going to change anybody's mind. I keep forgetting to just hit play. That guy, So for anyone who's watching and is like, okay, you guys support anyone attacking the police, because I've spoken with people who have said, so do you support the fact that that people were attacking police and Trump let them out? I'm like, no. Anyone who puts their hands on law enforcement should be sent to jail. It's a really simple thing. And the same people who are like, oh, people touch law enforcement, should they be pardoned? They are the same people who support the ICE protests with the rioters throwing rocks at ICE agents. So at least be consistent. All right. We try to be consistent. We're like, anyone in this crowd who put their hands on law enforcement, it's a no-no. Anyone in this crowd who does anything illegal, it's a no-no. And the same goes for the ICE protests. So anyone on the left who wants to have a good faith conversation should simply be consistent with their position. Where's the insurrection, guys? Where's the insurrection? I'm still looking. So the guy pleading with the police is an insurrectionist, guys. Okay, throw him in jail. Now, who's doing the pushing? Who is doing the pushing? The police is. All right? The police is, knowing full well that there's a crowd pushing against the people right in front of them. I don't know how this makes sense. Okay. I think we had someone in law enforcement in the chat yesterday. Okay. Let me know if this is standard operating procedure for a protest where it's clear that there's a crowd pushing up towards the front and you're forcing the people in front backwards into the surge. Does it make sense? Are they spraying bear spray? And one of the upsetting things that a lot of people in the crowd have expressed over the last few videos is the fact that while the Summer of Love was going on, these guys, speaking generally, not these guys specifically, but the police in those cities hung back. They didn't enforce the law. Conservatives or Republicans show up to protests and then they're all out. They're ready to put hands on the protesters. Okay? That's what people have been complaining about. Okay, now I'm not. So the situation should be seen from both sides. Okay, the police are scared. They've heard so much. The protesters are upset, and they've seen a two-tier policing when it comes to protesters who are on the Antifa side and protesters who are on the MAGA side. It's clearly a two-tier policing going on, and they feel very much betrayed by the police force that they have supported, for years. They're like, you have to support law enforcement. And even with what's going on with the border and with ICE, is the same sentiment. They're supporting law enforcement. Meanwhile, the left has consistently been known to be anti-law enforcement. All right, sorry. Yeah, that guy should be arrested. If he put hands on the police, he should be arrested, period. Let's move on. All right. So far,
How is it going to get tighter? How is it going to get tighter? All people must leave the area immediately. Failure to comply with this order may be subject to
Sarge, you okay? We need the board for it, man. Okay.
Anybody with 42? I need you here now. 42, who's up? I'm here.
You all right? Go to Sergeant. Go over there. Come on right here. He's down.
I need a head count. Who can come with me? Who can get him along? That's great, but I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Come on. You going back out to get him?
I don't know what he's saying.
Hey.
well, things popped off really early with this video. And they're firing more tear gas into the crowd that's already riled up. Well, it's riot dispersal. Okay, that's part of it. But the question is this a riot? Is it really a riot?
You all right?
I'm good.
Sure. Shaq. You okay?
I got some shit.
Sit up. Take a breath. Sit up right here. Abdi. You okay?
Yeah, put the
Take it out.
So we're seeing things. We're trying to see things from both sides. Like I said earlier, the Capitol Police are scared. All right. So let's not do this thing where it's like, okay, we're only trying to see it from the benefit of one side. Let's try and put ourselves in the shoes of the police, and that's one of the benefits of having the body cams. They arrive, they have their briefing, they have their orders. They've been told that there's a riot and that the Congress people are afraid for their lives. And then they show up, and then there's obviously angry and upset people who feel like their votes have been stolen. And the police are scared walking into that because a lot of people are really upset and are cussing them out. And they begin to do the job they were told to do. Now, in the middle of doing the job, hey, there's tear gas being deployed. The police is getting hit by the tear gas. Question is, who's firing the tear gas? Is it the police? Are there agitators in the crowd who also came armed with tear gas? What's going on? Okay, so we're trying to see this, but what we are looking for basically is, where's the insurrection? All right, so the game we're playing is find the insurrection. We've been told that there was an insurrection. We're looking for it. I can't find it yet. Okay, an insurrection is meant to be a coordinated plan or plot that is carried out by the entire group. All I see is individual voters who were upset that they felt that their votes were stolen. And they came to Congress to protest. And instead of being handled as a protest, they were fired upon with tear gas. And then they got upset about being fired upon with tear gas. That's what I've seen so far. Let me know if you saw anything different that I didn't catch on the video.
Honestly, you should sit up there. Bro. You should sit up there because we're going down with. Sit up there. Abdi. bro. It's a man. Where's your helmet? Let's breathe. Let me see.
Yeah. Coming back. Yeah.
Was that OC? You good?
Man, this is crazy. This is crazy to watch.
Shark, you good, man? Your helmet is fucked up, dude.
I know they sprayed me, man.
I don't think you want to use it right now. Just hang on. You see that shit on it?
Oh, man. Guy's got snot leaking out. Oh, boy.
Sit down right up here. You want to sit on the mat and sit? You want some water? Huh? Hold on, let me give you some bottle of water. Hold on.
This almost looks like a video game. Like you're the first player and you're just walking around and exploring the scene.
He won't walk. Asia, open your eyes. Don't rub it. Get it on. Open your eyes. Lay back.
Oh my God.
Let's open it. Let the water. Don't rub it. Let the water go inside. Lay back.
Oh my God.
Lay back. I want to go in your eye. You ain't gonna get tired, dude. Pop your eye. Lay your hair back, bro. Lay your hair back. I want to go in your eye, bro. Lay back. You can make it, man. Don't kill your hair back. Open your eye, dude. You can swim. Pop your eye. Don't rough that shit. You see how he's doing it like that? Don't pull it. Don't rough it. Just pull it. Lay your face. Keep bumping.
All right, so let's move forward to confrontations with the crowd. Okay,
Keep rocking.
let's skip forward to confrontations with the crowd.
That's what you want. You started this shit now. You didn't have to release me of all goddamn people.
So they're having a conversation with law enforcement. Is there an insurrection happening here?
Every order that these criminals are given to include your commanders that are giving you unconstitutional. And it is y'all's duty to stand down. Lay down your weapons and stand in solidarity with all these patriots and let us put these criminals on trial. That's what needs to happen.
No, well.
People inside this house. It's not a left and right issue. Every one of these people inside this house are criminals. They know. All the ones know who the criminals are.
It's funny. It's funny how the left can talk about an insurrection and of overthrowing the government and burning things down. And then the moment someone on the right says the exact same things, oh my God, an insurrection. And that's why I keep saying, let's not use the tools of the left. Let's not use their tools. Okay, let's not use their tools. It's a trick. They let their side use those tools. What we need is for people on the right in office to have the balls to enforce the law. That's all that needs to happen. They need to have the guts to enforce the law. If they don't, they're just going to keep doing it and taunting you on the right until you give in and do what they do, and then they use the law that the right refused to implement, to enforce on you when you use their tools. So don't fall for it. So they're talking. Let's skip forward. Let's skip forward. They're having conversations with law enforcement. Is that an insurrection? Now, the guy in the we keep talking about these guys who showed up in gas masks. It's suspicious. That's all I'm going to say about that. The crowd is docile from what we can see so far. They're just standing around, talking to law enforcement. Like, is the police tear gassing themselves? Like this is weird. The people who are supposed to be dispersed by the tear gas are standing around, and the police is just falling out. More gagging and this is crazy. Is the police leaving? Okay, let's skip forward to this is insane. All right, if you're just joining, we're watching the body cam footage of the January 6th protest, riot, insurrection, fill in the blank, whatever it is you've been told and you believe, that's what we're watching. And we're trying to find out if the news and the Democrats or MAGA were telling the truth about what happened during the insurrection or riot or protest. Now, what I'm doing, because I have my own convictions, I'm coming in to see if they were telling the truth, because I don't think they were. Now, you guys let me know in the chat what you see from these videos, okay? I see the police throwing lots of tear gas and getting hit by their own tear gas. I haven't seen any coordinated attack on the police. All I've seen is one or two random unhinged people, because we have them on the left, we have them on the right as well. The percentage of those we see on the left seem to outnumber those we do see on the right, but we do have people who are unhinged on the right as well. And we saw a couple of them put their hands on law enforcement, and we raised our hands to say, no, that's not allowed. So we're going through this. Let's know what you think in the chat. Oh yeah, and if you clicked in to watch the story about the shooting at Maine, we're going to be covering that right after this, okay? We are opening with this because this, of course, has historical significance because of course, the controversy surrounding the incidents of January 6th. We still have politicians and influencers and left-wing media touting that January 6th was an insurrection. Now that the videos have been released, let's find out for ourselves if they were telling us the truth. All right, we're going to skip forward because what we're looking for is engagements with the crowd. Okay? We want to see engagements with the crowd that proves that there was an insurrection. What we've been seeing so far is the police being hit by their own tear gas. Okay, so I think they're trying to push back a crowd. There's not much to see. Let's keep going. What you're tired of seeing what? Hickok's family in the house. Hickok's family is back. Morning, brother. Good to see you in the chat. Good to see you. So we're further along in this video. Of course, we haven't found any so-called insurrection yet, but we're doing our due diligence. We're almost done, but today we're also going to be covering the story coming out from Maine on the shooting. and we're going to see what happened. And of course, we're going to have a conversation around that. We'll talk about Marco Rubio's ripping the ICC a new one, the International Criminal Court a new one. And there are several other stories behind that. So we're just going to be wrapping this up and moving on to the shooting to talk about that unfortunate incident. Let's keep going. So we're looking for altercations between the police, and there's nothing happening here. There's no altercation happening here. Nothing here. And all right, so this is the end. All right, Hickok says, very nice. I'm cooking pancakes, so I will be watching for now. I will just no problem. It's good. It's good to have you watching. So we've gone through. This entire video is an hour 17 minutes, and we've gone through the hotspots. The hotspots aren't very many. We have the Capitol Police essentially tear gassing themselves. All right, they've tear gassed themselves into oblivion. I don't know if you recall yesterday, we did see some canisters of tear gas being thrown over one of the walls on the protesters' end. We're wondering, is that what happened here? Because the police also fired tear gas into the crowd, but the police keeps showing up as if they were tear gassing themselves. We spent a fair bit with them washing out their eyes and reacting to the tear gas. Meanwhile, the protesters are just fine. You know, they're just hanging out. There's like nothing is going on. And the police essentially is the one getting the brutal effects of the tear gas. So we've gone through that, and this is an hour and 17 minutes of footage. We scrubbed through the altercation points, and nothing that proves that this was an insurrection as far as I can see. All right. Now, if you're just catching up and joining, please just, if you want to see what we watched and went over already, please scrub backwards and catch up with us. But you can stick with the rest of the show because we're moving on to the next story. So an ICE officer yesterday was fatally shot. He fatally shot a 26-year-old Colombian national during a vehicle stop on Monday morning. That was yesterday. Now, already you have politicians like Susan Delben, the Democrats, saying another tragedy caused by ICE in just a week. Immigration agents have killed 2 people in our communities. I wonder why it's escaping you guys that when you tell your constituents and people who vote Democrat to go and obstruct federal law enforcement, to ram into law enforcement, not to comply with law enforcement, and you're surprised that things like this happen. I wonder why you guys are surprised. It's like the black families who train up their kids to essentially be non-cooperative with law enforcement, and then they wonder why they get treated poorly by law enforcement when they act the fool with law enforcement. The agents were not wearing body cameras. Now, she's bringing this, but she forgets that these clowns shut down the government because they didn't want to fund ICE. Now they're complaining that ICE didn't have body cameras during this altercation. You guys, you see the hypocrisy that we're dealing with? Hickok says hood mentality and black fatigue. Look, everyone is fed up with it, but you know what? They're going to continue to double down on this insanity. Now they've transferred what happens in the hood they've taken it mainstream. They're training these radical leftists to act the same way these kids, these black teenagers and black adults act with law enforcement. They've taken it mainstream, and then they're wondering why, oh my goodness, 2 shootings within the space of a week. If you try to ram a law enforcement officer, this is what happens. And then she says we need a full investigation so the families can get answers, and Congress must pass reforms to stop this senseless violence. Tell your people to stay home and let ICE do their job. If you have an issue with anyone who was picked up, you go to the ICE facility with a lawyer and deal with the issue over there. You don't stop them from enforcing the law on the streets. That's the way things happen in a civilized culture. Anyway, let's watch this report coming out from Fox News on this story.
10 minutes past the hour right now. Anti-ICE protests outside the office of Senator Susan Collins after a deadly shooting in Maine involving an ICE agent. This is Bedford, where the shooting happened about 25 minutes south of Portland. Our correspondent Alexis McAdams is reporting live here in New York City. She's got the latest details on what is happening there. Alexis?
Hey, Sandra. So as you can see here on your screen, this is a live look at what's going on in Maine. We know federal agents are trying to piece together everything that happened as witnesses tell local media that ICE agents surrounded a car and repeatedly ordered the driver to get out. Then seconds later, we're told they heard gunshots, and it was also captured on surveillance video. Listen to this. Blocked off in Biddeford, Maine, if we want to pull that video up, after the ICE-involved shooting earlier this morning. We are told that the FBI and Maine State Police are working the case right now, and the feds have not yet said who was killed.
So this was as the incident was evolving. That's what they reported. Now, there was an eyewitness to the incident, and here he is giving his testimony about what happened.
7:15, I was driving through the intersection at Hill Street and Pool Street, and as I was approaching, you could see flashing blue lights, and then as I got closer, they were unmarked, so I assumed they were ICE, and then you could see them with their green vests and stuff, and it said police, ICE, and so as I actually was going through the intersection, I heard yelling. So I know I'm supposed to be paying attention, but I heard yelling off to my, so I looked and I was watching, and the ICE agent was yelling and drew his weapon, and he kept yelling and warning the person driving, which is when the car was put into drive and was trying to hit the ICE officer, and he fired, I would say, probably 4 shots at him, and then by that time, I was also through, the intersection, so I just heard the popping, but I did see him draw his gun at the windshield. And then, then the car, you could see the car in the back, like rolling down the street afterwards.
Now, the way the left will have you understand what happened is ICE officers see a brown-skinned man, pull out their guns, and shoot and murder him. That's what they want you to hear. They don't want you to hear the full timeline of what happened. They did a stop check situation. They were trying to stop the car to check to see if the person they were looking for was in the vehicle. The person in the vehicle decides they were going to be non-cooperative and then use their car as a weapon. Now, one thing that people don't realize, especially people who don't use their brains, is that a car is a weapon. Okay, you sitting in it, it's not made of cardboard. It is almost a ton of metal, and and if you run into someone, okay, at top speed, you'll kill them. If you run into them at moderate speed, you'll hurt them badly. And these people saw what happened with Megan Good. They saw what happened with Alex Preddy. They watched CNN and TDSBC, and they're told ICE is illegal. ICE is illegitimate, which gives them the cover to continue with this insanity. Intergalactic Wrangler is in the chat. Good to see you. Good to see you. You said you had a doctor's appointment this morning. How did it go? I hope you're fine. I hope you're doing okay, Intergalactic Wrangler. But it's great to see you in the chat. So are you back from the doctor's appointment, or are you still up, out and about? I'm curious. So this is an eyewitness to the incident, to what led up to the shooting. So clearly, ICE did their job of trying to de-escalate and asked him to essentially, slow down and stop for the inspection. Now, this is after the incident, all right? This is after the incident, and someone is driving by. And guys, okay, Intellectual says, I'm good. It was a home visit checkup. Oh, that's good. Okay, over now. I hope you have a clean bill of health. I hope you're good. Now, another thing that the left continues to miss out on is this. If the intention of ICE was to murder someone, why would they be trying to resuscitate them after they had to shoot to stop the guy from running over an agent or create a public incident, like hurting someone else who was a bystander? It's just something that I'm curious about. So that is a video that essentially shows the incident. We have the eyewitness telling his story. Now, this is a video from a dash cam, I think. So someone was covering it, and that was after the shooting. So the car was out of control and was rolling, and I think that was before the SUV had to wedge it. Okay. Now, someone would see this and think, okay, the officer was running by the side and shot through the side window. No, the bullet holes are from the front. Okay, they're from the front. Now, someone will see this and say, hey, he's running by the side. No, this was after the shooting. Now, let's keep going. Okay, the usual suspects heard that there was a shooting. And you keep asking yourself the question, do these people have jobs? All right. So the Maine Wire got out to interview people, and this is an interesting conversation, because this is the position of leftists whenever anything like this happens. They assume the worst, run out onto the street, and begin to say stupid nonsense like this woman is about to say.
Good morning, I'm John. I'm with the Maine Wire.
Hi,
Nice to meet you. So, what do you got going on here?
This is for ICE to get out of our fucking city. They just shot and killed another innocent person for no reason other than.
So she says for no reason. There was no chance that he was trying to evade arrest and in the process possibly run over an ICE agent or create mayhem in the streets during the course of the encounter with ICE. I mean, they just saw him and said, hey, he's brown skinned and he looks Hispanic. Let's shoot him. That's the the lightning fast process that's going on in her brain.
They're not white.
Did you have that sign already made up? Or?
Yes, I did.
Sorry, I'm going to rewind this.
Did you have that sign already made
up? And killed another innocent person for no reason other than they're not white.
Did you have that sign already made up? Or?
Yes, I did. I went to No Kings 3, baby.
All right, so I'm a member of the media and I don't have any of the details. What details do you have?
Only based on what I've seen, and just I woke up this morning.
Okay.
And went on Facebook. Sure as shit, ICE is in Biddeford. Somebody's been shot. I googled where it was. It was right up my street.
Okay.
I came out, saw that it was all blocked off, saw people congregating, went home, got my sign, walked around my neighborhood, alerted my neighbors. ICE is in the area. He just shot and killed another person.
Are you aware that there is something planned for 12 o'clock at the park?
Yes, I am.
Will you be there?
I will be there.
It might be a controversial question, but I think it's a fair one.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we wait for the facts?
At this point, what ICE is doing is un-American.
So her answer is no. we don't care about the facts. As long as ICE did something, it must be wrong.
They are going around abducting documented people based on their color.
I wonder where she heard all of these talking points. Of course, we know it's coming from TDSBC and CNN and left-wing influencers and the Democrat Party. We're going to hear what Hakeem Jeffries had to say because he doesn't miss an opportunity to open his mouth and sound retarded. He's going to say something that, of course, she heard, and they continue to spread these lies. And you know what? As long as it is going to make Trump look bad, it doesn't matter if it's a lie. We're just going to continue repeating those lies.
They are being told when the documented person tells them that they have the documents, you know what ICE tells them? It doesn't matter. We've been told to pick up everybody and anybody. They have quotas to meet. So no, we shouldn't wait for the facts. The facts are they are doing things illegally. They are doing things based on race. They are not doing things based on the law and what should be happening in our country.
I understand you're upset.
Yes.
But where are you getting the information that ICE has quotas?
From the news.
Okay.
I am very involved in the news. I know everything that is happening right now. I know how unhealthy our administration is. Right now, we have a pedophile in our country. And we are acting like it's normal and it's okay for men to rape and abuse women and children and get away with it. Is that okay? Is that American?
And she votes. So every single talking point that you and I have heard coming from left-wing media and influencers and the Democrat Party, she's just parroting everything. And I guarantee you she doesn't do any research. Okay, she doesn't do any research. She just jumps out, talks first. It doesn't matter. Intergalactic Wrangler says, I know everything. She sounds like Trump. She sounds like Donald. Look, I am, I've gotten to the point where, okay, when I hear things like this, like if you've stuck with me for long enough, I've gone from being shocked to being very upset because, at first it was shock and anxiety. Okay, when I started the channel, I was always like, is this where the world is going? And sometimes I'll watch the news and almost have a panic attack just watching the insanity on screen. And then it went from that to anger because after Charlie was murdered, I was angry for about 2 months. I was angry. My content was very angry content. And then after that, I kind of calmed down and I was like, okay, we're going to, get into this. And, I would get upset. I would get very hot under the collar and I still do. But right now I'm watching this and I'm like, let's treat this like the WWE. Okay. If you remember when you were a kid and you thought that wrestling was real. Okay, remember that. And then suddenly you're older and you now realize that, okay, it's all fake. It's all an act. I've chosen to compartmentalize all of this insanity and look at it like this is entertainment. Let's look at these guys talk. Don't get emotional about it. Learn what they think, learn how they react to things and make a decision of how you're going to react. It's really as simple as that. We need cooler heads when we're dealing with people like this, okay? Let them get emotional. Let them do all of the rah-rah. Let them do everything that they do because they're bound to do it. It was predictable. Once there was a shooting, people like her were going to come out of the woodwork, okay? She was going to run to her house and dust off her No Kings, sign. Oh my goodness, there's a protest afoot. Where's my sign? That's who she is, okay? And then she's out in the middle of the street by herself. By herself. Okay, so she's just like that. Intergalactic Wrangler says, I watch a lot of war news. I will burn you out. It will burn you out mentally fast. I'm telling you, like, I still look in on the Enforcer channel that you introduced me to, and I'm like, man, those guys are just their autism is weaponized. Like, how do they get into all of the nitty-gritties of all of these things with the military? Anyway, Intergalactic Wrangler also says, I met Lex Luger once in Kansas at a tournament. Lex Luger, I remember him. Oh my goodness. I guess he was the one who had the elbow thing. He was meant to have this metal elbow replacement. Was that him? You know, yeah. So, yeah, they're on it. Yeah, they're on it. Yeah. Okay, so let's keep listening to her.
Is that the American dream?
But that's a different story. That's a different story
It
about
goes with ICE.
Okay, so
Because ICE is funded by him and Stephen Miller,
What?
who's a white supremacist.
Stephen Miller is a Jew. He's a Jew, and if you guys don't know, Jews aren't considered white. If you in case you missed it, they aren't considered white. Okay, they're Middle Eastern.
We have a white supremacy White House at this moment in time. White supremacy is overtaking our country in the White House, trying to normalize.
Oh my goodness, guys, it's too easy. Okay, it's too easy, because watching this, if the Democrats ever win another election, it's because the Republicans and the GOP and MAGA let them win.
Big thing again. ICE is doing all they can do in their power to make that normal. Let's go and abduct these people based on their skin tone. Let's beat them. Have you seen what they do to people?
That's what you do to people when they resist arrest. I'm trying very hard to be civil, okay? That's what the police are meant to do when someone who is being detained resists arrest. Anyway, let's keep going.
They break their windows.
I'm trying to stay specifically on today's incident.
On today's incident.
So
no, I think
we don't have a lot of facts yet, but you're.
She's
based on
deeply
what the
indoctrinated.
family
Yes,
has
she
said,
is.
They would like time. So
Well,
with
that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, shouldn't we just kind of like pump the brakes until we get a little bit more information, or?
no, I think we need to make it known.
Okay.
I think it's important to make it known that ICE has shot and killed another person.
All right. Well, thank you for.
can't-
So that is the usual. Now, right after her, we have this woman. Okay, I'm sure that Tony isn't watching right now, because once he sees these type of women, he loses it. So here's another woman who's having an absolute meltdown. Okay, she's ugly crying in her truck because ICE just dropped a dude who just wanted freedom. Okay, crime tape everywhere, dead body across the street from her house. Do you think she cries for innocent Americans that have died at the hands of illegal immigrants? You guys, let me know in the chat. So let's play her video, because she wants to tell you how hurt she is.
I can't fucking do it. I can't. I came out of my apartment and there's crime scene tape everywhere. There's police everywhere. I just posted a video talking about how it was a waste of our fucking tax dollars. And you know what it is? It was an immigration. Somebody running from immigration. They shot and fucking killed him. They shot and fucking killed a man today in Biddeford, Maine, because he was an immigrant who was actually a native man of the land.
So she says that he was a native man of the land. He's Colombian. Okay, let's go.
Dead body across the street from my house, and that is a human being.
Sad.
That was murdered because he just wanted freedom and a taste of freedom. Like, what the fuck? I hate this fucking place. I hate it so much. I can't fucking do it.
Yeah, so she's sad. Look, it is a sad day when people are killed. Period. Okay. Personally, I'm not the kind of guy who's happy even when bad people die. I'm like, okay, like that's a life. Okay, I have a hard time squashing bugs if they aren't in my way, if they aren't in my house. I have a hard time squashing even bugs because life is precious. But when you have someone who decides that they're going to run over law enforcement, they're going to do what the Democrats on TV tell them to do, and then the consequences come calling, no one should be surprised. Now, this lady, like, I'm showing you these things because the usual suspects jumped out and they began to say the usual things. And people think that, okay, should we be listening to people like this? Should we be, and I'm asking a question, okay, this is a broad question. I'm not dismissing, I'm not trying to be dismissive. I'm not. I'm trying to have, just lay the cards out. You have an incident where an immigrant was stopped for a vehicle check because ICE was patrolling the neighborhood. He refused to comply with ICE, and he decided to speed up. And ICE had repeatedly asked him to cooperate, according to the eyewitness we watched earlier. He refused, sped up, and then he got shot. And now, everyone who has believed the lies of the left is out screaming the usual talking points. Let's watch this woman, because of course they all jumped out. Like, question, do they have jobs? That's a different conversation. Let's listen to her.
My exercise class, as you can see, so I'm not looking my best, but.
Okay, Brad. What's your name?
Marsha Lifshitz-Haynes.
How do you spell Marsha?
M-A-R-C-I-A.
Can you spell your last name?
Lifshitz-Haynes.
Okay, and how's it pronounced again?
Marsha Lifshitz-Haynes. You could just say Haynes.
Okay.
That's fine.
Your thoughts about what went down here?
It is horrific. ICE needs to be disbanded. It is unnecessary. It is a relatively new organization. People who work for ICE are untrained.
Sorry, I want to fix the audio. Paid antagonists. I agree. I want to fix the audio of this channel. Just give me a moment. I want to fix the audio of the channel. And possibly even make it, let's see, can I increase the output gain? Let's see if I can make that happen.
And we want them out of Biddeford. Killing people in cold blood. They need to be out of Maine. They need to be out of the United States.
So you have these people. You have these people. It's sad that this is happening on the streets of the United States. Okay, it's sad that the media is complicit in creating this this polarized situation where people can't even think through the facts anymore. They can't think through the facts to ask what happened. As soon as they see ICE officers, they see someone who was a victim of their own stupidity, they begin to attack ICE. So this, I'm going to move on because the audio of this video it isn't very great. But essentially, the sentiment is the same: ICE bad, ICE horrible. Now, after a few hours, this report came out. Okay, we're just going to play this video. Okay, because now there's more information about what happened, and then we're going to hear the wisdom of Hakeem Jeffries during this report. Of course, we know what we're going to hear, but let's just subject ourselves to the pain of understanding who this guy is.
Migrant during an immigration enforcement operation. Take a look at this. This is footage from the incident in question. DHS says the man tried to escape. You can see the driver going in circles with an agent trailing along. Eventually, the ICE agent shot and killed the illegal migrant. And you can see the suspect's vehicle crashing into an SUV before agents walk up with guns drawn. DHS releasing details on X explaining, quote, ICE was conducting targeted surveillance on the last known address of an illegal alien with a final order of removal. An illegal alien departed the residence in a vehicle. ICE law enforcement attempted to conduct a vehicle stop. The vehicle attempted to flee the scene, and fearing for public safety, an officer discharged his weapon. Former DHS Deputy Assistant Secretary Jonathan Fahey joins me right now. Jonathan, thank you for joining the program. That statement notably did not say that the illegal migrant was trying to run over the ICE agent with the car, although that was what a witness told the New York Post. When you look at that video, with everything that we know at this point, what's your reaction?
Yeah, it's sort of hard to tell when you look at the video initially. I'd like to look at it more, but the issue is whether or not this person put an agent in reasonable fear of his life or serious bodily injury, or put somebody else in it. So if this agent used force because he's fearful this person may run over some other agents or other people out on a busy street, use of force would certainly be justified and, in fact, necessary in this case. But certainly a full investigation needs to be done. I do think it's worth noting that the people that are out there protesting are people that are against ICE enforcement just as a general matter and don't want deportations. And also, as we've seen in these cases, over the years, the protesters' narrative rarely ends up being what the facts end up being. So I think it's important to investigate this thoroughly, find out whether or not the shooting was justified. My inclination is that it is, but it's certainly more investigation probably needs to be done.
Yep. Yeah, and exactly as you call for an investigation, some people, particularly on the Democratic side of the aisle, are not waiting for the investigation to play its course, with Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries saying this. Take a look. Less than 1 week after ICE agents fatally shot Lorenzo Salgado Araujo in Texas, they brutally killed another unarmed person, a 26-year-old Colombian man, in Maine in cold blood. This pattern of violent immigration enforcement actions shocks the conscience and must immediately come to an end. So this is as assaults on ICE is up 1,300%. What are your reactions to the comment from Leader Jeffries?
Well, the answer for him is always the same. Stop deportations, as you notice. That's what has to come to an end. But the issue isn't unarmed. They like to say that with these car vehicle, incidents. But remember, assaults against ICE agents using cars are up like 32%. And a car is a dangerous weapon if somebody's trying to ram an agent, trying to get away. So the unarmed thing is a bit of a misnomer to distract people. And the core issue is, was this person, was the agent or other agents in danger? But again, he's just basically trying to rile people up, calling this a cold-blooded murder, which is, any way you look at it, that is not the case. And one thing that's really important here, which the Democrats support these sanctuary cities and fight all deportations, and what Tom Homan always talks about, there are collateral arrests. This person they were trying to arrest had a final deportation order. Then they came across this person who's now deceased, who was also illegal. So, a collateral. So if the Democrats would support the arrest of people in jail and people with deportation orders, there would be less need to do these collateral arrests. But again, back to Jeffrey's statement, again, it's trying to rile people up. And a lot of these assaults against ICE agents, in my view, are caused by these Democratic leaders encouraging people to resist, calling ICE agents Nazis, and things of that nature, which always rises the temperature, and it certainly legitimizes people that are trying to resist arrest and obstruct justice. So any way you look at it with this individual, he was in the midst of committing a felony when all of this happened. So it's not like he was some bystander and this happened.
Yeah, so again, the same narrative being pushed by the left. Hakeem Jeffries doing what he always does, and he doesn't realize that he is the architect of his own failure, because these extremist positions that they've been pushing has essentially legitimized the more extreme parts of the Democrat Party, which is, of course, the Democratic Socialists of America right now that have essentially taken over the Democrat Party. And just a couple of weeks back, they've told him that his seat is next. Okay, he's still doing the very same things that are costing him his seat. They don't know any better because in their heads, they were fighting Trump, they were the opposition, and they needed something spicy to get their base going. What they didn't realize was that they were handing over the party to the DSA. So now you have a bunch of radicals essentially overthrowing the establishment in the Democrat Party, and they haven't learned their lesson. Secondly, the same talking points that I keep repeating, on this channel about why these incidents happen on the streets. ICE detainers are meant to be issued for these illegals who have overstayed their visa and maybe were involved in some crime or the other. The police departments are meant to inform ICE to come pick up these people who have been detained. But they don't do this. And then on top of it, Democrat leadership, left-wing media, and influencers keep telling these people to go out there and resist. And then people die, and then they're like, oh my, it's no self-awareness, no reflection at all that it is the things that they're telling people to do that's getting people killed. No, it can't be them. It's definitely the evil Trump administration and ICE that's causing it. You told people to go stand in front of a train that was moving, or a train track with lots of traffic, and you're wondering why the death toll is so high. The level of retardation that we've seen on the left beggars belief. Now, of course, you have the ants. I'm going to call them ants, okay? I'm going to read this. Left wing, the leftists are storming the streets in Maine after ICE in self-defense shot someone trying to ram an agent to death. These rioters reportedly tried storming Senator Susan Collins' office. Which NGO is behind it? This is not organic. All right, keep the chats coming. I'm going to read the chats. I just want to get through these videos. So, of course, here they are. They've hit the streets. They've hit the streets. So, the usual useful idiots are out there with their signs ready to go because they have to take Trump down. All right, I'm going to read the chat before we move on because this is just stupid, insane, but, it is what it is. Intergalactic Wrangler says, fact checker, Donald Trump's cabinet is predominantly white with approximately 21% of confirmed Senate appointees being non-white. Key ethnic minority members include Hispanic individuals like Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Secretary of Labor Lori Chavez de Rema, Black officials like HUD Secretary Scott Turner, and the late Pacific Islander Director of National Intelligence, not late, but former, Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, so that's a good fact check. Okay, and I think it's representative of the country because white people still are the majority in the country. You cannot kowtow to political correctness and assume that, okay, because you want to appear to be equitable, you don't recognize that you have a majority of white people, and then you want to have more black people to show that you are let me just use the word equitable. Okay. All right, let's keep reading. Intergalactic Wrangler says, okay, talking about the volume. Hickox says, cameraman has a horrible mic. Yeah, they didn't do a good job. I could have taken some time to work on the audio, but I am respectful of your time. Hickox referring to Hakeem Jeffries' dollar store Obama. Moving on. Moving on. I don't want to go into a tirade over Hakeem Jeffries. Hickok's family says, the people on the left admit they are mentally ill. Of course, and they talk a lot about mental health. And, like, look at this woman, okay? Let me see if I can find her. Look at this woman, all right? It's good to be sad, all right? It's good to be sad. It's good to feel compassion for people who you feel have been dealt a bad hand. But we need to have a level head when we're dealing with issues of law enforcement. And it is this kind of partisan attitudes to law enforcement that has infested the black community, so that whenever a black man, even though he's a career criminal, even though he held up, a pregnant woman and pointed a gun at her stomach, even though he has defrauded other black people and made his community unsafe, once a police officer, in a bid to bring him to justice, happens to be involved in a shooting that ends this person's life, the entire black community loses its collective mind and begins to riot. And now it is infecting woke white people. Where you see something happening to an immigrant who is illegal, first off, he's broken the law. Like, immigration law has to be upheld. And sadly, okay, this wasn't really a big issue until Biden let in about 10 million undocumented illegal aliens into the country, and most of them turned out to be violent thugs. So what do? Do you pretend like there's no issue and then let them live? She clearly hasn't felt the brunt of illegal, immigration. Her daughter hasn't been assaulted and murdered. No. Her family hasn't been kicked out of an apartment building because it was overrun by these Trende Ragua thugs. No. Your schools and your facilities haven't been overrun by migrants who don't work, who take your tax money, loaf around, and then give birth to more children than you do. Meanwhile, you pay taxes and they get all the benefits that you're supposed to get. Oh no, it's totally fine. I'm an immigrant. I know the pain of being an immigrant, but guys, we need to do things the right way. All right, let's go back to Marco Rubio. We need to move on. The International Court. Have I read everything? I haven't. Intergalactic Wrangler says the people herding up like that make easy talk. Please, I'm trying to keep my channel monetized. Please. The International Criminal Court seeks to become an unaccountable arbiter of a new global law. Now, this is a very serious thing, and a lot of, while everyone is frothing at the mouth about immigration and all the other things going on, and Trump is this and Trump is the other thing. Hang on. Did you see the caravan at the border waiting until Trump is out of office? He's put up. No, I haven't. Okay, we'll do a quick search for that at the end of the stories. We'll just see if we can do a quick search and look at that and talk about that, because we're talking about the caravan at the border. How about the millions that are still in the country? That the Democrats are trying to stall Trump, DHS, and ICE from removing them until Trump is out of office. How about stalling the SAVE Act? There's so many things going on that no one is paying attention to, like what you just mentioned, and like this. So you have the International Criminal Court trying to subvert the sovereignty of the United States by enforcing international law upon American citizens. So let's listen to Marco Rubio's speech, because he He released this video yesterday. I couldn't play it yesterday, but let's listen to this.
For 250 years, Americans have governed ourselves as a free and sovereign people. We choose our own leaders, we determine our own laws, and when we're accused of a crime, we stand for judgment before a jury of our own peers. This is the essential and indispensable feature of our form of government. It is the foundation of our shared way of life. But today, powerful people in faraway places want to take that away from us. They believe that they should be in charge of your laws, of your country, your life, and they don't care whether or not you agree. Halfway across the world, there's an institution that calls itself the International Criminal Court. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. But chances are you don't know the names of its judges, of its prosecutors, or its president. And you shouldn't have to. But as we speak, the ICC and its friends are waging a war against our country, not with bullets or missiles, but with statutes, compacts, and the force of so-called international law. When the ICC was born 24 years ago, they told us that it was merely a narrow backstop, a global court that would step in to prosecute only the gravest offenses, things like genocide and war crimes, and only when a nation's courts were unable to prosecute them on their own. But the truth is, it was something far more radical and extreme. It was a global tribunal staffed by unelected globalist bureaucrats who claim their power is almost unlimited. The danger of this global court has only continued to grow. Today, it threatens every aspect of our political and legal system. Border Patrol agents removing violent criminals from our country. American Marines risking their lives to defend our homeland. Prosecutors working to dismantle terrorist plots to attack and kill Americans. If we stand idle, all of them would be at the mercy of foreign judges thousands of miles away, facing the constant risk of prosecution and even imprisonment for the so-called crime of defending their own country. The American people never agreed to any of this, and they never will. Read the words of our Declaration of Independence. We fought a revolution against a foreign power, transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses. Independence is our birthright. We will never let foreign bureaucrats take that away from us. This administration will not sit by as the ICC and its allies seek to threaten our people. If they believe they can deprive us of our sovereignty, we will teach them the full meaning of American resolve.
Based. All right. Like, Intergalactic Wrangler says, I don't know if I like Rubio or Vance more. And you know what? That's a good thing. That's a good thing. If it means that we have a strong bench. Okay, it means we have a very strong, deep bench. All right, we have Rubio, we have Vance. I don't know how you feel about a female vice president, but Tulsi has that aura around her for being a strong female character, if you know what I mean. She has that air. Okay, then who else do you have? Who else do you have? Like, I think I like the idea of having these two like lined up, a very strong bench for 2028. Okay, so I think they're doing a great job, Vance and Rubio, and I think 8 years of Vance, 8 years of Rubio, guaranteed. Okay, Vance is vice president now. He's front runner with Rubio backing him up. Okay, and then you have, when Vance's term is done, Rubio takes over. Oh my goodness! And then after that, you have. I don't know about Tulsi. Okay, I don't know about Tulsi because politics is weird. Okay, politics is weird. You think something works on paper, but when you look at how the electorate responds when it's time to vote, okay, they won't respond the way you think, okay. But I think, I don't know. Anyway, that's just me blowing off steam. I don't know what I'm talking about, but you guys let me know if you agree. But the International Criminal Court, the World Economic Forum, and all the other globalist outlets or organizations are all picking up steam in the background. They're all waiting for Trump to leave office. Okay, so it's not just the caravan of migrants at the borders. You're also looking at the International Criminal Court that is positioning itself to make it illegal for the United States to enforce its or to protect its own borders and to enforce immigration law. Like, you're seeing this happening under the covers while everyone is distracted about the bombings in Iran and all the other stuff going on that is bombastic. You have all of these very silent, low-level things that are going on. Hickok's family says, I hate to admit it, but Vance seems to be too kind, but I'm hoping that's just a mask. Look, I hope so too. He was a Marine. He was a Marine. He served. He knows how to get his hands dirty. Okay? So I would assume that he would be very firm and strong. He's been able to back Trump up on his policies. He hasn't pulled a Pence on us yet. So I'm optimistic. But you never know what's in a person's heart, Hickok's family. So let's just pray that it all works out. Intergalactic Wrangler says, I like Tulsi, but I wouldn't make her president. Maybe a vice president. That will give the people time to see how she does. Tulsi looks like she's a good operator and communicator with what she did with the DHS. The sad thing is that her hands are tied. Sad thing again is that she's been a career Democrat for a long time. So how would Republicans feel about voting for a former lifelong Democrat as the front runner for president? Like that's what's going on in my head. Like, is it doable? Is it doable? As someone who crosses the aisle, she was phenomenal. She's gained the trust. Now, do you know what will gain her massive credibility? If all of the things that she said she discovered about the interference of the 2016 election and the Obama administration and so on, if all of that ends up in prosecutions and jail time, her stock with the Republican Party would go through the roof. So that for me might just be it. All right, now let's watch this video. How are we doing for time? Okay, I think we've got some time. Now let's watch this video because again we have New York in the news. We have New York in the news, and Mamdani is essentially providing us with lots of entertainment. Intergalactic Wrangler says of Tulsi, she got to prove herself for you. Yeah. Well, I think it's going to take more than what she's done so far with the as a DNI. I think it's going to take more. Okay, that's what I feel. I'm not dealing with facts or anything. It's just my gut feeling. It's almost like the assassination attempt with Trump in July of 2024. Okay, when that happened, I had this gut feeling that won Trump the presidential election. Okay, once that happened that day, it was a gut feeling that this thing here has won Trump the second term. Now, a lot of other people may have felt differently, but a lot of people also felt the same. And we started seeing movement like Elon Musk endorsing him, Mark Zuckerberg saying, looking at that image of Trump raising his hand with his ear bleeding, badass. Like, you had a lot of people who essentially were turned on to Trump because of that incident. So it's really a gut feeling for me. But I don't know. I feel like there's something extra that needs to happen. And for Tulsi Gabbard, the whole question about a woman being president, okay, it's not like people in MAGA are sexist. It's not like they're sexist, but it's like let's call it the lizard brain. Okay, let's call it the lizard brain. All right. When someone thinks of someone who's going to handle that nuclear football, okay, the finger that pushes it, is it covered in nail varnish, or is it a rugged man's hand that pushes down that button? Like, it's just the picture, okay? It's about lizard brain issues now. Hickok's family says MAGA is not sexist. We know what a woman is and we love real women. Very true. Hey, very true. And for the last couple of live streams, I have been forgetting to say this, and I'm going to say this right here on the halfway line. Happy American Pride Month. Okay? I keep forgetting to do this because, I have to keep saying this. Whenever I go live, I always come in with a lot of anxiety, like, okay, I need to know if I need to have the stories lined up and I need to segue properly. So I'm tuned in, but I keep forgetting these little things that make it fun. Okay, so happy American Pride Month, okay? We're going to be celebrating American Pride Month for the entirety of July. So this is the 14th. We're basically halfway through July. All right, so so that's just me having some fun with you guys. So I love John Stossel's videos, and this one is a cool one. Okay, kids are taught sharing is caring. You must share or you're selfish. We're looking at the socialist, indoctrination that most of us have been exposed to. But that selfishness is what makes the world progress and makes our lives better. Let's watch this together. And guys, let's know your thoughts in the chat.
Corporate America, stop the greed.
Democrats and Republicans criticize corporate greed.
You're trying to squeeze every piece of profit you can out of this country, this company.
They say this corporate greed kills good things.
Family, religion, friendship. These are the three demons you must slay if you wish to succeed in business.
No, says Yaron Brook.
The only way you can make money in business is by providing customers with a value.
Brook heads the Ayn Rand Institute. Rand's popular books suggest self-interest.
If you haven't read Atlas Shrugged, highly recommend you read Atlas Shrugged. Use the Audible link I think I have a link in the description, okay? You get a month free if you haven't signed up on Audible before, and then you get to listen to this, but you can choose this book and listen to it. It's a great book, and essentially it's an old book. She wrote it when in the 50s, but it tells you what the world looks like when you essentially lose all of the people who create wealth. It shows you how everything breaks down, and that is what happens to third world countries. So it's a great book. I recommend it. Let's keep going.
It's a good thing.
The biggest problem we have in our culture is this perception, when you pursue your own self-interest, that you are somehow a villain.
The opposite's true, he says. Entrepreneurs are actually heroes because the only way they can make money is
by making the lives of other people better.
We are calling it
iPhone.
Governments sometimes build things, but when they do it badly.
Yep.
17 years after California promised this high-speed rail, no actual train exists. Yet the cost keeps going up.
The cost of California's long-delayed high-speed rail system has skyrocketed once again.
By contrast, in Florida, in much less time, a selfish, privately owned, profit-seeking corporation built trains that carry commuters and tourists without billing taxpayers. The private sector routinely builds things that get cheaper and better. That's why the price of things like cameras, computers, and TVs has dropped, even as quality improved. Why? Why would greedy people looking to make more money end up lowering prices? Because they have to.
Yeah.
Unlike government, they have competition. And those greedy competitors want your money too. So they all have to lower prices. Rand was a philosopher who understood that entrepreneurs pursuing profit create wealth for others. Her book, Atlas Shrugged, sold 10 million copies. In this movie version, a government judge attacks a steel entrepreneur's profit.
How does that benefit your fellow man?
Thousands of jobs, billions in revenue, fueling our economy despite your efforts.
This is just true. The world gets richer because entrepreneurs pursue profit. But so many people hate Ayn Rand for celebrating that. Here's John Oliver's show.
Ayn Rand became famous for her philosophy of objectivism, which is a nice way of saying being a selfish.
Being selfish is not the same as being an
Objectivists define selfishness not as
lying, cheating, stealing, backstabbing,
but rather
your rational, long-term self-interest. What is truly good for you, John? What will make my life the best life that it can be? And she is smeared constantly. Constantly.
Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. I read every last word of this garbage, and because of this piece of I'm never reading again.
And yet her books are popular.
Books are popular, and yet the philosophy itself is smeared because it goes against at least 2,000 years of philosophy that tells us that the purpose of life and morality is to suffer and sacrifice and live for others. And she asks this really simple question. Why? Why shouldn't I live for myself?
Because it's nice. Living for yourself is selfish. It's better to share.
Sharing does make you feel good inside.
We're taught from a young age that collective ownership, sharing, is best.
See? It's not so tough to share your stuff.
We like that. I like that.
Yeah, sharing sounds fantastic. It sounds nice. But the reality is that what makes the world move, what actually makes the world progress and makes our lives better, is trading.
$5,000 is a deal.
Fair enough.
Okay,
Thank you.
Creating relationships of win-win.
You're saying the kids shouldn't share in the sandbox?
We should teach our kids to think about, what am I getting for this? But just inculcating this idea of guilt into the kid, that is maybe why we live in a world where socialism is still viewed as morally noble and beautiful, and capitalism is evil and bad.
Under socialism, political leaders decide what's good for us. Under capitalism, individuals decide. So even the greediest capitalist must offer us choices, because no transaction happens unless it's win-win. It's why when we buy something, there's this peculiar double thank you moment.
Thank you. Thank you.
Why did we both say thank you? Because I wanted the pretzel more than my dollar. He wants my dollar more than the pretzel. If it's not win-win like that, people won't buy. This pursuit of profit even fights racial discrimination.
Segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
It was government that enforced Jim Crow laws. Private bus companies looking to make money opposed them, even sued to desegregate. As economist Thomas Sowell put it,
only whites could vote, but whites and blacks could both supply money.
There's an enormous profit motive in you being the one that allows everybody into your restaurant. You're going to get a much larger clientele.
Some people would still be racist.
Some people would be racist.
But
they would suffer the consequence of the fact that they were racist.
They'd lose customers.
In a true marketplace, discrimination can exist, but it doesn't exist for very long.
Ayn Rand said, selfishness is even what makes us love our families.
I love my wife for self-interested reasons. So imagine going to the woman you're going to marry the night before and saying, I'm not doing this for me. This is a massive sacrifice. She would slap you in the face, as she should.
You took pity on me?
No,
You.
Instead of going to her and saying, I'm doing this because it's fun to be around you. It brings me joy. Me joy. Love is the most selfish of all emotions.
The virtue of selfishness, as Rand called it, is why world poverty has dropped dramatically. Over the past 50 years, the number of people in the world living on less than $2 a day fell from 35% to just 9%. For most people, life's getting better.
Self-interest and motivation makes the world a better place.
We should thank selfish capitalism.
Greed is good.
All right, so if you're not following Stossel TV on X, please consider following now. I wanted to play this before we jump into New York's catastrophic real estate issue. Okay, no, not real estate, but essentially the millionaires are fleeing. It's almost like a scene from a chapter from the book Atlas Shrugged, where all of the people who were generating income for the economy suddenly started disappearing. Okay, so it's called capital flight. Whenever you have socialists who take over and they tell you how they're going to take money from the people who are actually making money and paying most of the taxes, it sends a signal to the people who are making money and paying most of the taxes that they're not wanted and they start leaving. So here we have this report. New York is bleeding millionaires dry, but New York bleeding, sorry about that. New York bleeding millionaires dry is a socialist dream that turns into taxpayer nightmare. So let's watch this video from Fox News about what's going on in New York.
Between 2010 and 2022, causing around $11 billion in lost tax revenue. Fox Business host Cheryl Casoni is here with the latest. Hey, Cheryl.
Good morning. We've been talking about this. We've been warning about it. And there's actually 2 new studies that show that money leaves when you up taxes, just like the DSA Socialists of America want to do in that chapter here in New York City. They actually are pushing to raise taxes on anybody in New York City that's making $300,000 or more, which is in New York City considered, believe it or not, middle class.
So when you say we're going to raise taxes on anyone making above a certain amount, what you're simply saying is we want to punish people for succeeding. And the socialists are so tone deaf that they don't realize that's what they're doing, or they realize that's what they're doing, and they depend on their power to guilt people into staying and taking the punishment because, hey, you want to leave? Oh, that's wrong. Okay, you should stay and let us bleed you dry. If you're leaving, you're an evil capitalist. That's what they're counting on, that they're going to shame you into staying put so that they bleed you dry. Hickok's family says, did you hear about Democrats warning to implement an exit tax on people leaving the Democrats? Yes. And there was even this harebrained scheme of California attempting to tax people even after they've left California. So you guys drive out the millionaires and then you still want to reach across state lines to collect taxes from them. Okay, come and implement it. Okay, so it's the insanity that we see of these policies. They know that these policies are evil and wrong, but they are hoping that their powers of shaming you are strong enough to keep you from leaving. We heard people saying, hey, where's the capital flight? You guys said that people are going to be leaving in droves after Mamdani is elected. Where are they? Now they're leaving.
From 2010 to 2022, New York's shares of the nation's millionaires declined from 12.7% to 8.7%. Now, the mayor of New York, this is Zohran Mamdani, he is dismissing concerns that taxing the rich is going to drive out the millionaires, despite the fact that we've got the data that shows that that's already been happening. Watch.
I've been very clear about the fact that we live in the wealthiest city in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, and it's unacceptable that 1 in 4 New Yorkers are living in poverty. And I believe that the wealthiest can do a little bit more to ensure that everyone can afford to live here. I look forward to continuing to advance the vision.
The reason why people can't live in New York is because of the high taxes that you guys issue. That's why property taxes are skyrocketing. Okay, the crazy regulations you guys put on transportation, toll taxes, everything is expensive because of the government, not because of the people who are at least providing services for the rest of the occupants or the citizens of New York. So is this insane philosophy that they have that taking money from wealthy people is the solution? Not the fact that it couldn't be the fact that you're overtaxing everything that moves and isn't nailed down properly, or even the things that are nailed down are being taxed to oblivion. It can't be that's raising the taxes and raising the cost of living. No, it has to be those pesky, evil billionaires that are making all the money. They're making the money because they're offering a service and people are choosing to buy, like we watched in the last video. Let's keep going.
Of our city that has room for everyone, because that's also what makes the city so incredible.
Well, the city we already instituted the pied-à-terre tax. Governor Hochul signed off on that. That's going to change the real estate dynamic.
Sorry, hang on. Let's read this chart from Hickok's family. Not a single Democrat policy or tax is based on common sense. I literally saw a Democrat implement a dog walking tax. I'm looking for the right sound effect to yeah, that makes more sense. Are you serious? Taxation with the worst representation for years. I watched this creator called Nerdrotic. He does movie reviews, and if you haven't discovered him, go over and watch his channel. He's hilarious whenever he does his reviews. And he says he repeats this phrase that he got from Count Dankula, another creator that I follow, who does historical takes on different things. And he says taxation is theft. Okay, and President Trump has been playing around with the idea of eliminating the income tax with tariffs. And everyone is frothing at the mouth. What? We can't tax our own people anymore. Oh. And it's like, if we do this right, it's possible to eliminate the income tax. How is it that the Democrats hate Americans so much that even the thought of lightening the load on Americans is painful for them? Hickok's family says, look it up. It's part of like 100 taxes that was implemented. Jeez. Okay, I'm going to look it up right now.
Millionaires between 2010 and 2020.
Dog walking tax. Which city implemented a dog walking tax? This is insane. This is crazy. Okay, so recent news highlights proposed taxes on dog walking grooming services in Virginia, state level pushed by Democrats in early 2026 as part of broader service tax expansions. Anyway, it's a galactic rock that says get a cat. It is like when you think, okay, I lost connections. I got a notification. I'm like, what was going on? Okay, so let's keep going. So now in New York, now this is a quick take. Ugandan Mayor Mamdani is being ripped after a rising surge in fire bombings and attacks on churches across New York City. Remember when we talked about the fact that after Mamdani won the election, a bunch of radical Muslims jumped out and began to scream that New York was now a Muslim city? Remember? Okay. Let's listen to this report because I mean it has nothing to do with all of that. It has nothing to do with Sneeko and a bunch of young radical Islamists screaming that Sharia is going to be the law in New York very soon. It has completely, there's nothing to do with that. That you have all these Islamists harassing Jews in Jewish communities. Nothing to do with that. Nothing to see here, guys. Let's watch this.
A word from New York City's Mayor Zohran Mamdani after a string of attacks on multiple churches. Silence is deafening from a socialist who never seems to hesitate to lecture New Yorkers about justice and intolerance. A man is federally charged with allegedly firebombing 2 houses of worship in Queens, and investigators have not ruled out arson in the fire that destroyed a 170-year-old Brooklyn church. That is such a heartbreak. They're still examining the evidence of possible foul play. But when churches are attacked or burned, City Hall should never go quiet. Condemning hate shouldn't be a question of politics, but this is what happens when progressive politics treat faith as an afterthought and religious institutions as something less worthy of public concern. Here to weigh in is Bruce Blakeman, NASA.
So that last take of hers, I don't know who wrote that thing into the teleprompter, because she's clearly reading from a teleprompter. Mayor Mamdani is actually elevating faith, okay, but not the faith that you think. So let's just get that right, because he's clearly supportive of Muslims having more rights than the average American citizen. All right, let's just get that straight. All right. This post says, when you elect a terrorist to be mayor, you get terrorist activities. Mamdani's father. In Good Muslim, Bad Muslim, Mamdani writes, suicide bombing needs to be understood as a feature of modern political violence rather than stigmatized as a mark of barbarism. That is what Mamdani's dad wrote in his book. So, what was one of the first things the Soviets did when they came to power? They destroyed the churches. Why? Because communists can't have any other god except the state. Like, these are things that we screamed about when he was running, and people just said, hey, we need to tell the 1%ers that the people have a choice. Congratulations, guys, you got your wish. All right, this is going to be the last story that we cover, and I want to close us on a good a story with a good ending, okay? A 17-year-old Alabama teen helped save a 76-year-old woman who was unknowingly suffering from a brain bleed. And it's a great story, especially in this last few days where there's a lot of racial tension building up within the country. Over the last couple of months, it's just been all about, black people hate white people hate black people, and so on. But look, it's all astroturfed. It's all made up to create that division. Because at street level, okay, when people aren't indoctrinated by hateful social justice warriors or civil rights leaders like Al Sharpton, here's how real human beings behave when they see another person in trouble who isn't of their race.
An unlikely pair, 76-year-old Fanny Garner and 17-year-old Johnson Thompson, brought together by what they call divine intervention.
Well, nothing but God. It had to be, because I don't remember it. And I got there safe.
On June 30th, Thompson couldn't sleep and went to work late in his family's workshop on South Dixon Street. He'd been having trouble sleeping after he flipped his lawnmower and hurt himself a week earlier. He was working when he saw a car slowly pull over across the street just before 5 a.m.
She parked across the street in a parking lot. She got out of her car and she was stumbling around. So I went out the end of our parking lot to check on her and see if she was okay. And that's when she explained to me that she had a terrible headache and was wanting to know where the nearest emergency room was.
Garner drove from Cherokee to Tuscumbia, around 20 miles, though she doesn't remember much. Johnson got her a chair and called 911, waiting with her until an ambulance came. She learned at the hospital she had a brain bleed.
Angel. Hero.
Yeah, thanks, Hickox family. I see you. This is the last story, but thanks for hanging out and for being in the chat. Okay, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, 10 a.m. Eastern. It's always good to have you in the chat. Thank you so much. And that is for you. Thank you so much. You rock.
Garner's family tracked Thompson down to thank him the following day.
I just felt like, relieved, and that
so thankful for humanity that someone would, pay attention.
And Tuesday, Thompson and Garner were reunited.
Thank you so much. And we have a little love offering for you.
Garner's family says that seeing this kindness out of a complete stranger has renewed their hope for the community. This one act forming a lifelong bond between the two families.
I will never, ever forget him. We already had plans for his graduation. That's next year. So.
Wow, this is so cool. This is cool. With all of the insanity happening in the world, there are still good people out there. There are still people who don't believe the propaganda. There are still people who reach out to help someone in need. And there are people who don't believe the propaganda of the left and are common sense people and who just want to live quiet lives with their families and love their communities, their churches and their friends and their family. They just want to live a quiet life. Okay? So this is a great story. It made me feel good watching it this morning. I just wanted to share it with you. All right, guys, this is where we call it a day. We went through the J6 protest body cam watch party. We went through the essentially the shooting of the migrant in Maine and the reaction of the leftists, but that's still a developing situation because they're calling for investigations. We're going to see what comes of that call for investigations and see what happens. Of course, the left wants us to believe that was an intentional murder, okay, by the ICE agents. But the rest of us are like, hey, we've seen this movie before. They claim that it is a murder, but eventually it turns out that it wasn't. And do you know what? The facts never changes the mind of these people on the left. They will continue to repeat the same conspiracies, for as long as they can. So we're going to just end it for today. I would love to see you guys tomorrow on the next one. We're going to be back, and I would love to wish you a great rest of your day. God bless you, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye. Gardening says, okay, just finished my appointment. Made it in time to say I hope everyone has a great day. It's great to have you back, Gardening. Great to have you back. Well, I hope everyone has a great day too. Sorry we missed you in the chat, but I knew that you were out for your appointment, just like you told me. Now, I decided that for the Happy American Pride Month, we're going to end the live stream with something patriotic. For now, all I've got is the Spencer Pratt video that I'm going to keep playing until I find something cooler, because this video is a great video to end the live streams with, and I hope you enjoy seeing it every day. Now, keep your families close, pray, love God, love people, and vote MAGA. Happy American Pride Month. Bye-bye.
We all had to sit and watch that vile commie mayor sit on the wrong side of our founding fathers' desk to try and lecture us about our own history. Notice how the communist always attacks your history. The communist must attack your history. Why? Because history is what anchors you. It's what makes us attached to something. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. History breeds an almost irrational attachment to things, an attachment that is more powerful than anyone can imagine. Erasing history is how you demoralize people, how you unmoor them and detach them from their society so you can take it from them and rewrite it in your image. Think of your country like a home. What makes your home special? It's not the marble countertops or the expensive furniture or the fancy appliances. It's the memories you have there. That backyard is where we got married. That living room rug is where our son took his first step. Hey, don't touch that. That was his first teddy bear. It doesn't matter how torn and tattered that thing is. You will never get rid of it. And you will fight anyone who tries to take it away. Why? Because you have history with it. You ever buy a new home? Remember those first few months? Even the first few years there, it doesn't feel like home. It could be a million times nicer than the crappy apartment you came from, but it doesn't feel like home for a long time because you don't have history there. It's easy to knock down some walls, change the floor plan. If you have no memories to attach you to it, it's just wood and drywall. Who cares? Get rid of it. Memories make it a home, even the bad ones. Hey, remember when Dad hit his head on the rafter in the attic and we spent all night in the ER? That's the avocado tree I fell out of of and broke my first bone. Isn't it weird how even the bad memories make us cherish a place? It's not like we long for those bad times, but bad times are part of what makes us stronger, a part of what makes us who we are. How can you resent those memories without fundamentally resenting who you are? History is so important to humans that even bad memories anchor us to our home. And that's what the communist always starts with, the bad memories. Oh, we can get rid of that little story. We can knock down that statue. We can change the name of that street. That's a bad memory from our history. You don't want that memory hanging around. You're not a bigot, right? And slowly but surely, this wall comes down, then that wall gets sledgehammered. The rafter where dad hit his head, that's gone. The rub where your son took his first step, that's gone. The gash in the wood floor where you stomped the glass on your wedding ceremony, that's gone and replaced with shiny vinyl planks. And now you've got a brand new home with no memories. Now what? Do you care what they do with it? Do you care what color they paint the walls? Nah. Do whatever you want. I don't care. I have no attachment to it. I have no memories with that. You love your home because of the memories you have there. And that's why the communist always must destroy your memories, destroy your history. If the communist wishes to take your home, he must first destroy your memory of it so he can erase your attachment to it and demoralize you. Mao destroyed what he called the four olds: old ideas, old culture, old customs, and old habits. If you call them olds, it makes them sound bad. You don't want that old thing. Get rid of it. But it is fundamentally human nature to cherish your history. We crave learning about our history, where we came from, who our ancestors were. That's human. But communism is an evil, anti-human religion, so it must destroy what makes us human. The communist destroys your history so he can take your home and rebuild it in his image. That's why it's your patriotic duty to celebrate today unashamed. It's okay to love America. Not only is it okay to love America, it's necessary to love America. We are the only bulwark against tyranny on this earth. When Europe descends into madness time and time again, it's our sons who cross the oceans to fight and die for freedom and human dignity. We don't let evil people destroy our history and rewrite it in their image. This is Independence Day. It's not just a number on the calendar. Don't say Happy 4th. That's commie gobbledygook.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
We say Independence Day. Today we celebrate the men who reclaimed a beautiful slice of this earth and claimed it for God, for the values of freedom and rugged independence. Our history is messy. Our history is violent. Fuck yeah, it is. And that's why we love it. We aren't cowards. We don't turn our backs on the painful memories because they make us who we are. Be proud of our country, damn it. America is the birthplace of every great invention of the last 250 years. Like literally everything. Airplanes, spaceships, internet, telephones. As a country, we are batting 1,000. Not only is it a miracle that this radical experiment in self-governance even survived past 1776, but we are the champions of the world. Be proud of that. Be proud of your history. Millions of your ancestors fought and died to preserve it. Commie Mamdani's ancestors never bled for this country. He has no history here, so he has no attachment to our home. He has no place to rewrite our history and lecture us about what our country stands for. So celebrate today. Show some American pride. Honor your history. Raise your flag. Raise a finger and say, fuck you, communists. This is our home, and you can't have it. Today we celebrate our Independence Day. God bless America.
Happy American Pride Month, guys. Love you. See you tomorrow.